Welcome to Inside the Other Dimension with Damon, Penny, and Ben Winfield. We take you further down the paranormal rabbit hole, looking deeper into strange happenings in the dark. We explore why the paranormal is such a mystery, and we package it all up for the truth. Odds. Sit back, relax, and get weird. Only on Inside the Other Dimension.
And welcome along, and we're live and direct. It's a new look to Inside the Other Dimension. And you know how it goes, guys. This is for the Patreons. It's for the guys out there that are subscribing. Really looking forward to tonight's discussion. I thought to myself, what is the point in giving a behind the scenes look at what we do and then just giving you the audio? So I went all out. I spent most of Sunday designing this. So yeah, we're live, and I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Ben Winfield, and I'm also joined by our special guest tonight, which is Mr. Christian Green. Guys, you should just be live now. Welcome along.
Yeah, we were two. I think me and Chris. What you couldn't see was me and Chris just headbanging to the intro.
Well, could you hear the intro? That's quite cool, actually.
Yeah, we're just literally headbanging.
Well, the guy that made that, I've got to send massive props out to. His name's Young Fella. He's an American aspiring hip hop artist that made that for us. So I'm going to do a big shout out to him because he wrecked it on that one. 100%.
Definitely going to give us.
We own it, don't we? We own it.
Definitely.
Yeah, we own the rights to that as well.
Yes, we do. So if anyone copies that, be prepared because it's going to get ugly.
Yeah. I will hunt you down in your street and slap you with an abyssal chicken every time you move.
Gotta love the abyssal chicken, man. You gotta love. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm working on some merch for that. So all the people out there on Patreon, you're gonna get first dibs to that. So when the abyssal chicken shirts come out, you're gonna get the first dibs on that, and you're gonna get a discounted price as well. So looking forward to it.
Obviously for the Patreons now, they're probably already aware. I don't know how you are, Damon. If you're not checked, but I have actually put my first book up today.
Oh, did you really? I tell you what, I haven't checked.
Yeah.
It's been a mad one this week. I've been getting ready for
I've actually put the first one up there.
It's good, man.
For people to see.
It's good. See, this is why you need to join the Patreon. This is why you're getting some serious knowledge bombs dropped on you. You know, we get to have these sort of chats with these guests that we have on. I mean, Christian was on the Saturday show, or the Saturday show coming up. And we had a really cool chat there, and we're going to get right down deep into a conversation tonight, so I'm really looking forward to it. But Patreon guys, man, you guys are the bloodline. You're the guys that keep the lights on in the buildings. We've got 2 studios to run now, so I mean, keep pumping out there. Tell your friends, tell them friends to tell their friends. Even if you've got a really weird auntie with like 19 cats, like tell her to join in. It's worth it, trust me. It's definitely worth it. You know, it's £3. It's the price of a McDonald's Saver menu meal. Like, you can't really go wrong. You know what I'm saying?
You're obsessed with McDonald's, aren't you?
I don't eat it. I don't like it. Every time I eat it, I always get like really bad stomach cramps and stuff. It's bad. But they get to see us now. This is the thing. They get to see us. They get to see backstage properly now, which is great.
I've even had a shave for this, man. Look, the beard's there, but I actually shaved.
I went to the barbers today. I got he went to me, "Oh, sir, you have very hairy ears and very hairy eyebrows." I was like, "Thank you."
He's slowly turning it like into Baphomet.
Yeah, or some form of like Teen Wolf or something. I'm like half lichen transformation because of the half moon or something. Oh, crazy. But Christian, welcome along.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, man. Well, let's give you a proper introduction. If people don't know who Christian is, he is a medium. He's also an investigator with Mystics Paranormal, and he's also a massive supernatural fan. In fact, I'd even go as far as saying he's a groupie. So
yeah, man.
I still haven't watched an episode yet. I still have not watched an episode yet.
You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. especially the first season, because it's very much something happens, you see someone die by some kind of creature or something, and then you get a bit of backstory, they investigate it, and then they hit the books, they research the lore to find out how to kill it or get rid of it. It's great.
Cool.
Sounds like my standard weekend then.
See, I was about to say that. It's a normal Friday night for Ben, isn't it, really? Well, tonight's conversation, for all you Patreoners out there, for everyone who's a true ODD, we're talking about mediums. We're going to look at mediums in general, get some opinions on it. We're going to look at the controversies behind mediums, on investigation and working as a medium, and we're just going to get into that conversation. So, I mean, you got to start off the conversation with the famous line from Lorraine Warren that everybody's clairvoyant until the age of 12, and it's whether you take that gift on or not, isn't it? You know, and I think personally, you know, I think there's a whole massive discussion. You know, are you born with mediumship skills or do you develop them? I think it's a bit of both. Everyone's born with it, but it's whether you are conscious enough to develop it. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I think I've seen enough, read enough case studies for that. Obviously, sorry, Chris.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I've always sort of been thought and been told that everyone is on the spectrum, if you like it. Everyone has a certain ability. So some people are born, you know, really in touch with it, really in tune with it, and some people sort of have to learn how to become more in tune with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It makes sense. I mean, there's so many different types of mediums, though, isn't there? Like, if you look at the traditional outlook of mediums, you have the astral mediums, people that come out of their body and able to speak to the dead. You have your trance mediums and your super trance mediums, the people that go down and they sort of trance out and allow the spirit to take over the body. And then you have platform mediums. They're the ones that are able to talk to the spirits through their guides. But when you sort of look into history and you look at sort of, this is more Ben's area, but if you look at all the occult practices that have sort of come along, and people like John Dee and Jack Parsons, and people like Carl Jung as well, he talked about hiring your consciousness to be able to talk to spirits. So there's obviously other ways in which you can communicate out there with them. I mean, Ben, from your occult studies that you've done, is there sort of the three traditional ways of talking to spirits, or are there other ways?
There is the traditional ones. I get a bit lost nowadays on, you can either be, a medium, a psychic medium, or you can just be a psychic. Or there's that many different versions. I'm still old school. Yeah. You're either a medium or you're a medium.
Yeah.
But the main when you look back at the cultology, the main thing is these guys were talking directly to spirits, not through a guide or anything like that. These were directly. The closest you got to guides were like, you look at the ancient world, like Vestal Virgin, stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's more, I think the whole guide process is more of an SNC practice. I think it was introduced for safety more than anything, you know, having that guide to be able to guide you through things and make sure you put, like, obviously your protection down and everything's all like sort of, you know, hunky-dory. You know, it's easier to communicate. It's almost like having a translator, a middleman, you know, having a guide. And it's a very big sort of SNC practice. And people who don't know what SNC is, like Spiritual Nationalist Church. When I first started investigating, I got into mediumship, and I was practicing mediumship through the SNC, doing a couple of platform nights for them, and it went really well. It's one of the things, I mean, Christian will be able to vouch for this. With mediumship, you either feel like you're doing the right thing, or it just doesn't suit, and there's another niche of the paranormal that you need to sort of look into. And with me, it's like, I didn't fit into being a medium. I didn't like the emotions. I didn't like being the bearer of bad news, being like the middleman, you know, the guy that they're going to blame because they can't blame anybody else. You know, I mean, Chris, you've been out on investigations a fair few times. I mean, do you think mediumship fits you? Is that something that you're going to sort of stick with, or you've got sort of plans to sort of take it a little bit further?
I want to try and take it further because I'm still very much learning at the minute. I'm trying to obviously get more in touch with the ability and it's difficult to put it because as I'm going out investigations, I'm finding my feet a bit more with it. So, I don't know how to quite describe it.
We kind of flicked your switch on, didn't we? And we just sort of left you with it.
But I mean, through like meditation and certain things like that, I have been sort of getting, I guess, in touch more with my higher self, which is helping me.
Yeah, raising your consciousness.
Yeah, like when I told you on my live the other day, and you started trying to tell me that I was possessed by a demon.
I think I actually made him poop himself a little bit. It was quite funny.
He did a little bit.
He did a bit because your teammate Ash texted me asking for help.
Ash was on the conspiracy show last night. He was cracking me up. He was just like munching on a massive bit of pizza.
It was a bit like me and Lou were sat there sort of going, it really is starting to worry himself into you.
Yeah.
It's one of them that we had this conversation, didn't we, where we were saying sometimes you actually don't know what you're getting yourself into doing these investigations. So it's one of them.
I just need to make this clear. There isn't a demon in my sister's house that you can hear. It's mine. It's my niece.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at mediumship in general, now I've got a really cool story to add to tonight's show, and it's something that I've not really spoke about on air before. My partner, my missus, she is, I like to call her a closet PK medium because she's got the most amazing intuition. She's got the most amazing way of reading people and energies and auras, and I believe it's to do with PK energy, and that's something that people don't really talk about when it comes to mediumship, is this PK medium. And it's something that is quite prevalent, because if you look at the Enfield haunting case, Janet, the main girl, she was a PK medium, and that's what brought the demon to her, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was sort of the first popular outbreak of PK mediums. We've thinking back to another one as well. Let me just move. One of the sorry, she's my own little personal demon, bless her. When you look back to the starting of most mediums, when they had guides and stuff, usually came out just when Christianity had taken over.
Mm-hmm.
So when you enter the Dark Age, the Middle Ages in a sense, after that, went straight to the other stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a very under-researched part of mediumship, PK mediums, because from what I've read, and for people that don't know what PK means, it's psychokinetic. It's an energy. I might be wrong here, but from what I've read, it's an energy that's dispersed by the body, that's uncontrollable, and it can go up beyond measure. It's able to they say that Janet in the Enfield haunting case was able to. She went and got a book from her next door neighbour's house while her body was still sitting in the bedroom, and she actually transported herself through the wall and brought the book back.
Yeah, you're looking at the electrical magnetic field of your body then, with the fluctuations that it can cause in your own self. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, Christian, have you ever come across anything like this sort of PK mediumship?
Until you guys have mentioned it, I've not really heard of it. No, I'm learning here actually.
You will do with this, mate. We end up trying people's brains, and that's it.
Take him back to the school days.
Damon had his fried the other week by Bob.
Yeah, this is this is pure payback. It's great.
I listened. It was a good show. It was a really good show.
Yeah, Bob smashed it. Bob did smash it. I say that every show so far since we've had that one, but Bob did smash it. When we're talking about mediumships, we got to talk about the controversies. We have to and I want all three of us to be completely honest when it comes to this sort of thing. I think cold reading is massive. The people, you know, it's the turn to thing for a skeptic. You know, you get a reading that's pretty close to it, and they go, they're cold reading. But I do get where they're coming from. You know,
a lot of people do cold readings. I won't mention that. Well, you know me, I don't like mentioning certain names, but I think Chris will know. Even just, I can just see his smile, so he knows who I'm on about. But he's famous for doing that, for cold reading. Chris knows exactly who I'm on about because I can see him smiling.
I do.
I mean, look, I get how cold reading works. I get it. Yeah, you know, obviously, if a middle to late aged woman come in, you know for a fact their grandparents are going to be on the other side, and you know that they're going to be passed away, so you can have a good stab in the dark and get where you're going. And you know, I know a lot of cold readers go into such details, looking at, you know, whether they've got a wedding ring on, if there's a blemish where a ring used to be, so they can then mention divorce. And I mean, do you think, like Ben, Chris, do you think that these people that are cold reading are having an adverse effect on the people that are actually got the gift and they're working hard and they're doing things properly?
Yeah.
That was
unanimous. Do you want to go first, Chris? Or do you want me to go?
No, you go, mate. I'm just saying, yeah, I agree.
A lot of cold readers, because they get famous quick off cold reading, they tend to put those that are down, that have gifts and are trying to learn, they tend to put them down into the gutter very fast, which then makes them self-conscious to themselves. It makes them think that they're not good enough. So they tend to withdraw from it all. And instead of, it's the same with all paranormal at the minute. People need to be more inspired rather than kicked down to the ground and left there.
Yeah.
That's how you lose bad talent. That goes in anything. That's how you lose bad talent.
Yeah. I mean, I 100% agree. When I was doing my mediumship, I don't think I could cold read. I mean, I don't know how it goes to you, Chris, when you're out on investigation, but when I was out on investigation, the energies and things were coming through so fast. I was just constantly talking. I didn't have a chance to cold read. Is that how it works for you when you're sort of out on investigation?
When you're out on investigation and it's like you're surrounded by quite a few entities or spirits, it's like it feels like too much sometimes. You know what I mean? You just get overwhelmed.
Yeah, definitely.
It's difficult to explain, and like what I used to probably put down to imagination, my intuition, I now have to trust as my intuition, and it's strange. You know what I mean? It's like you get flashes of images in your head, or certain smells, or like your senses sort of go a certain way, and you have to trust that that's not your brain making it up. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I was always told, go with your gut, whatever you're feeling, and this has always stuck with me since day dot. When I was doing my mediumship, my teacher turned around and said to me, if you're getting goosebumps when you're talking about it, you are on the right path. That's something that's always stuck with me. As soon as the goosebumps come up, I know. And you know what? It's not just about my mediumship. It's everyday life as well. When I make a decision or I try and sort of work something out in everyday life, I get goosebumps. I always turn around to my missus and I go, look, I've got goosebumps. It needs to be done in this way. You know, it's crazy how mediumship can transfer over into your normal life as well. It does sort of, I mean, when you'll be at work and you start getting these sort of things coming through and you're like, right, do I tell this person that I'm sitting next to that I've got their dead mum with me and she's giving this message? I mean, how is it for you, Christian, like normal day life when you're sort of dealing with, because you're just starting out as well, so it's very confusing at the start. So how do you sort of deal with it in day-to-day life? Are you able to shut it off and turn it on, or does it just pop up randomly?
My intuition is like constantly on, and I finish every single day and I am shattered. Like literally, I have things running through my head. Like I'm still yet to see and have a conversation with a spirit or see anything like that. I just, it's very much just pictures and images for me at the minute and things like that. So
it's knowing how to focus and stuff like that. That comes with time from what I've seen in studies. It's having the ability to focus your energy, your mind onto a single point, which in itself takes years.
Definitely.
It's just experience.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like when we look at different, like there's different types of mediums, isn't there? I saved this link on my phone earlier for people to see. Oh, he's looking off the screen, he's googling. I saved this on my phone earlier. I'm just loading it up now. There are different types of they call it clairvoyant, means clear sight, doesn't it, in French? And then you've got clairaudient, claircognizant, and clairsentient as well.
Yep.
I don't know the difference between the two. To be honest with you, the article is like massively long.
Clairsentient, I think, is when you see them, but you can't hear them. You can't hear them.
No, clairsentience is clear. It stands for clear feeling.
That's yeah.
Claircognizance means clear knowing. What else we got? Clairvoyance means clear seeing. So, and then you've got the other one.
It ties in all five senses, doesn't it?
Yeah. And clairaudience is clear hearing.
Yeah, I forget which is which and that lot. I'm getting old.
Right. Well, take my theory on this and tell me what you think of this. I'm going to run with it. Right now, this clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience, all this. Do you not think, once again, it's science meddling in something that they don't understand? Because like you just said, Ben, it's resorting back to the five senses, and that's how we measure things in science, with the five senses.
Yeah, but to be honest, I just have one easy word for all of that, which is just being a medium.
Or an extra large.
Well, speak for yourself, Damon.
I fucking am as well. I mean, yeah. I think in the era that we're growing up nowadays, I mean, growing up, I'm 34 on a Saturday. I mean, in the era that we're in now, you know, everyone's got to have a label. You know, you can't just be a medium. You've got to be a psychic medium. You haven't just got you've got to be a clairvoyant medium. You've got to be clairsentient. You've got to be. I think it's just people being picky. At the end of the day, no matter which way you sort of put yourself, you're able to contact the dead, and that is amazing in itself.
Yeah, it's, in Bob's words, it's whatever makes your nipples hard.
Oh yeah, or soft.
Your way.
Definitely. I can't believe Bob caned me. I have to get him back. For all the patrons out there, we're actually getting Bob back, and we're doing a really cool show where we're linking serial killers to paranormal activity happening, like sort of within their childhood homes, within their murder scenes. It's going to be amazing, and we're definitely going to get Bob back on. I mean,
he did text me the morning after, and he said he absolutely loved the show. So like, I have now like two people I want to keep constant guests.
Yes,
Bob being one, and Chris, I want you to come on because I'm going to use you as a. But I'm going to use you. You just have to accept that bit.
All right.
To show and let the listeners hear how your story is progression from someone who's relatively just started again, and your progression as you go through. Sort of not use you, but use you, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, sort of like
I get it.
Document your journey.
It's like a video diary.
Yeah, like a video diary, and it's like technically for all the patrons out there, because patrons blowing up like crazy at the moment. So it'd be great for them to sort of see firsthand what it's like to have that journey into the paranormal, you know, and sort of see how you go along. Because I have this feeling, and my gut feeling is normally right. I think you're going to start off as a medium, and you're probably going to end up as batshit crazy as me and Ben are. So
did you not know I'm already there?
I'm just going to turn into David Attenborough. Yeah, I'm going to be like the David Attenborough, the paranormal.
Yeah, and
here you have Chris starting his journey as he goes through these wilderness woods.
And as we see the abyssal chicken with his male mating call.
You need to give me one of them shirts when you get them on there eventually.
Oh, 100%, man, 100%. Like the merch is coming. I mean, honestly, I've had a few trolls this week saying, "Oh, why are you charging for shows? And why are you doing this? And why are you doing that?" And I know we're going off topic, but this is what it's all about when we go inside the other dimension. It's about us as people. And I know I'm going off topic, but if people really understood the amount of reading, research, and time and computer stuff and stress. I mean, Chris, you see me when we just come on live in the studio beforehand. I was stressing because this stuff is so hard to sort of work out. I mean, I'm like 34. I'm a complete technophobe. I can work my phone like magic, but when it comes to anything like on my laptop, I'm just like, yeah. But if people understand what sort of goes into the show, like me and Ben are always talking behind the scenes, always like, right, what subject can we do next? I mean, we've got Kate Sherrill coming on the show from Buried and Beyond. Like, that's a massive podcast, and she does some really, really cool things in the paranormal, and that's all down to sort of like persistence. And we're honoured to have her on the show because she's doing some amazing things. She's doing this talk for this. It's just a massive event. She's doing a stage talk. Right? I mean, I can't believe she's coming on. It's crazy. And yeah, we've got some big things planned for the Patreon guys. I mean, I've been speaking to people from Most Haunted. I've been speaking to people from Help My House Is Haunted. I want the Patreon guys to have the majors. You know what I mean? As much as the Saturday show, we're going to get them on there as well. But the Patreon guys deserve it because they're supporting the show. They're keeping the lights on here at studio. And I am so off tangent right now. Like, this is me all over. I mean,
you just said the two naughty words that Ben doesn't like.
Oh, is that Abyssal Chicken? No, Most Haunted. That's it. I want to get them on, mate.
They started out so good.
Yeah,
they really did start out so good.
Oh my god, I watched a pilot episode the other day, the first one they ever done. Right when they was at can't remember, it was a castle. It was one where Derek was picking up on the Master's monkey. Do you remember?
Yes, I know which one.
And he was sitting there and he was giving it with his head. He's going, "I've got a monkey." Oh mate, and the age old, the best Most Haunted quote of all time, where he was in, I think it was in Manchester somewhere, and he was standing there and he was shouting at the top of his voice, where he's going, "Mary loves Dick, Mary loves Dick." It's just like brilliant.
Yeah, the other one you mentioned, me and Lou are off to do a weekend with them not this weekend, next weekend.
Oh, okay. What is that? Help My House Is Haunted.
Yeah, I can't remember it's the lass out of it. Lou would know, but she's not here at my side.
All right.
We're off to go and do a paranormal weekend with them.
Trading in the paranormal celebrity world.
Yeah,
eh?
the photos and videos, if I take any, because I'm terrible for taking them, will go up on Patreon as normal for people to see. Brilliant.
I mean, it's cool, man. It's cool. I like the way things are nowadays. I mean, getting back to subject, do you think that social media has helped mediums, obviously with exposure and able to sort of do readings? And Chris, do you think that the social media has helped mediums?
Yes and no. I'll elaborate. Sorry about that. I'm not just going to say yes and no. Yes, in a sense that obviously it gives them more of a reach, like a reach out. But no, at the same time, as the cynical person in me saying, you can go on social media now and find out absolutely everything about somebody.
Yes.
And there are people out there that will take advantage of that for money and things like that.
Yes.
And that's why I'm a bit on the side with it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think that when it comes to mediums and things like that, I don't get the mechanics of how you can read someone's energy or pick up on someone's loved ones that have passed away through an Ethernet cable or Wi-Fi. I can't get the mechanics in my head around it. I've had it explained to me. I had on the Demonologist UK, when I was doing that, I spoke to both Sam Pert and who was the other medium I had on? I can't remember his name. I had another medium on and I was talking to him about it, and they was like, yeah, well, what you do is you pick up on the energies from photos. It's almost like a psychometry exercise. My brain cannot calculate the mechanics of it. I don't see how it works. I mean, Ben, do you think it's that? Do you think people are able to sort of give readings through Wi-Fi?
Certain people I've seen do it. Like I've as silly as it sounds, I've experimented with people and seen that it can actually be done. But I'm with Chris on this. A lot of people can just read like other people's profile. It doesn't take much to spend 2-3 minutes looking through someone's profile, the instant to say something, just click on it, have a look.
Yeah.
We basically spread our life on the first 2 seconds of looking at a Facebook profile.
100%. 100%. I mean, 9 times out of 10, you know, if someone passes away in the family, you're going to put a status up because you're going to put pictures up and stuff like that. And I think in this day and age, like Chris said, yes and no. It gives them great exposure. Social media gives you a fantastic exposure. I mean, you can develop your own audience. It's like anything, like with the podcast that we do, or even if you're doing paranormal investigations, you can build your own audience. You can sort of develop that audience that likes what you do, and you can grow on it. But at the same time, it's encroaching because it's taking that cold reading to a new level, because you can now physically go and find out, like you said, in the first 2 seconds of reading someone's profile, most parts of their life. A lot of mediums sort of live on that fact that they're going to pull out that one bit of information that no one's ever going to know. I've managed to do that like maybe 2-3 times, but it's, I don't know about you guys, I don't know what you think, but when I was sort of doing my mediumship and speaking to spirit, they're very much like, when you talk to spirit, they're very much like, how do I put it? The information you get is very basic. It's an overview. They don't really give you specific information. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd say so. It's like, I like to think of it as when I do tarot reading. You get the basic information more or less. Like sometimes it's not very clear.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's not, you know, or sometimes there's no filter on it, so they'll have, you know, so you'll sort of get told off in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, talking of tarot cards, we've actually we've now adopted on our Saturday show. We have Kay Maloney coming along, and she'll be doing tarot card of the week every week now. So that's going to be quite cool. So something for the listeners out there, almost like a zodiac star sign thing for the listeners. So that'll be happening as from not this Saturday, the Saturday after. But yeah, when you talk about tarot, we're talking about a completely different side of things. We're talking about divination. Like these divination tools, and that comes under the class, you know, of Ouija and pendulums and crystals and crystal balls. I mean, have you ever been interested in that side of things, Chris, or is it more you want to sort of spend more time with dead people?
To be fair, dead people are a lot more interested than living people sometimes. But
100, definitely.
You know. That's what I think anyway. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy tarot reading. I fell into it by accident, more or less. You know, I got a tarot deck bought for me with a little book, just explaining, like, you know, different spreads, you know, what to do with them, how you should protect yourself and protect your cards, and how you charge them, and, you know, various bits and bobs like that. You know, because it's very, the thing with tarot cards is they're great, and I think one of the easiest ways you can learn tarot is through numerology.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to have to sit through about 70 odd cards having to learn every single meaning of every single card. Yeah. I think a lot of it is you've got to trust your own instinct and then get a basis of what that card should mean. And that's a lot. That's how I see it anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that 100%.
Guys.
Yeah.
Sorry to jump in. I'm having technical difficulties my end of the minute. I might have to cut this short for me.
Okay.
In the entire career, my phone's playing up.
That's all right, mate. It's no problem. Just if you want to jump back on, just jump back on. Just let me know, and
we'll do.
I'll take things away with Chris now, because we've only got about 20 minutes left anyway, so it's cool.
Yeah. Sorry about this, guys.
That's all right.
It's all right, Ben. It's all
right. Chris will fill in for you.
Right. see you all guys later.
See you soon, mate.
I'll catch you all on Saturday.
Yeah, bye. Mate, no problem. So, yeah, moving forward. So, I mean, Chris, when you sort of look at things in general, would you say then that mediumship, are mediums sort of a divination tool then? Would you say like they're almost like, when you're in investigation, would you say mediums are like tarot cards? They're like sort of like that divination tool?
Yeah, I'd say that mediums are just kind of a living divination tool, because when you're using crystals or cards, you're essentially asking for advice from, spirits or entities, aren't you? The same way that a medium would speak to the dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I think mediums are just a living form of divination. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. To be fair, I don't quite think of it like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said, and I get a lot of stick for this whenever I do sort of shows when we have teams on. Me and Ben have teams on. I've always stuck to my age old of, you need a medium on investigation. You have to have a medium there. Not only do they give you information that you won't be able to achieve otherwise, because all the tools and bells and whistles that we have nowadays, they're great. Some of them are fantastic, but they're not going to give you specific information as a medium is. And not only that, mediums boost a massive amount of energy when they're on investigation. They're almost like a human EMF pump. They just attract spirits in. I mean, your take on it, Chris, do you think mediums have a place in investigations?
Well, yeah. I mean, the whole idea of you going there in the first place, investigation, is to find out who's there, what's there.
Yeah.
And you want to be able to find out sort of what's happened, the history, various things like, are they trapped there, or have they chose to remain there?
Yeah.
Would they like to move on? Essentially, if you're going in, just relying completely on technology, yeah, you'll get somewhere.
Yeah.
But I feel like you get further when you've got a medium with you.
100%. I mean, you've got to use every tool that's in your arsenal. That's the way I've always looked at things. Right, as much as I know I sit here and I sort of slag off, app-based tools and stuff like that. When I mean using every tool in your arsenal, I mean you've got to look at the sort of location you're in. You've got to look at just the logistics of where you're at and see which ones are going to work best. I mean, for instance, you're inside in a priory and it's pitch black. You're going to need some form of night vision camera, because otherwise, not only you're not going to be able to see people, that the evidence you're trying to catch that you want to show to people, they're not going to be able to see it. So I think it's all about logistics. And I think that when you look at mediums on investigation, I think it's 9 times out of 10, it's like, yeah, we need a medium here because this place has history. The British Isles itself, the UK, is steeped in so much history. And without a medium there, you're not going to get that specific information. You're going to get to the point where you're literally just like, just getting these bits of information, like from an SB7 or from an EVP or an orb, or table tapping. Even when you talk about stuff like divination, like table tipping and taps and that, you're still only going to be asking direct questions that have a yes or no answer. There are no indirect questions. And I think
I've got a good analogy for it, to be fair. If you think about it, it's like being in a police station trying to get questioned by the police and them not bringing a translator. Yeah. And they're speaking an entirely different language, and you just like, you'll pick up bits and pieces, but it's like what you're doing there in the first place, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. And you know what? 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. Mediums give you that translation. They are able to sort of translate things from the other side, the other dimension, the other side of the veil. However you look at it, a medium is a go-between between the living and the dead. They're almost like limbo entrepreneurs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think mediums play a massive part in anything with the paranormal. But it's like we said, the controversy behind it. It's the cold reading. It's the people that are trying to extort people for money. That's the main thing I hear a lot. Well, you're just playing on people's feelings to get money from them. You're basically making money off of guilt trips and sadness. And it's like, no, it doesn't work like that. It does not work like that at all.
Yeah, I mean, me in particular, I've always you know, ever since a young age, I've always been a very good judge of characters, and I've always been good at reading people. Like, I can look at somebody and sort of know what kind of person they are before they even utter a word to me. You know what I mean? That's the kind of person I am. But and at the same time, I've met other mediums, and certain ones I've had very positive and opinions about. Let's just say positive opinions. And there's others where you just sort of like, you're talking out your arse a bit, aren't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. There's many mediums that I've met along the way that are genuine. I mean, I mentioned Sam Pert. I mean, his readings are amazing. Kay, who's going to be doing our tarot card of the week, she gave me a reading live on air when I was doing the Demonologist UK, and it was spot on. And she also done readings for people for the audience on a separate show, and there was not one person that turned around and said, no, that's wrong. But her tarot readings are a lot more specific, and I think that's what sort of stands out to people.
Yeah.
I think you've got to find your niche as a medium, you know. With you, Chris, you're going out of mystics, you're honing your skills like that. I mean, you might turn around at some point and start doing tarot readings live online. I don't know if you've done that or not yet.
I'm going to be at some stage, so I'm going to offer like a free, you know, I'm going to pull a few cards, you know, and just see what I get, kind of thing on lives eventually. But I'm still trying to get to the stage where I'm learning my cards, because at the minute I'm still kind of using a guide online, but also using half my intuition. And obviously, as on a professional outlook, you don't really want to be going on lives and then stopping every 2 seconds to go, hang on a second, let me just pull up this guide here so I've got an idea, because it makes it look fake, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, 100%, because you look, it's almost like, Joe, the good analogy for that is you know, like I call it dad building. You know, when you buy like a flat pack from IKEA, you, as a dad, you don't look at the instructions, and then when you build it, it's upside down. I mean, I'm one of them dads that build it with the instructions, because at the end of the day, like, I want it to be right the first time around, because I don't want to have to put effort in to do it second time around, and that's the same thing with tarot. I mean, I'm 100%. I'm not sort of down with the whole tarot thing. I've never really used tarot. I know that you obviously have a 7-card spread, you have a past, present, and future spread. I mean, tarot reading, is it different from being a medium, or tarot's sort of what a wrench is to a mechanic, almost like a tool?
It more than anything is just a tool to, like, I guess it's like a honing device in a certain respect. It sort of gives you something as a medium, or even if you're sensitive, like, you know, because I do believe that, you know, to a certain extent, everyone is a medium, but then you do have something called sensitives. So like people that sort of have lost their ability, but not fully. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They sort of identify themselves as empaths, don't they?
Yeah. But I definitely do think that it is a good tool to use. It's a good tool to have, because whenever I've used them and whenever I've given people readings, you know, you sort of, I get the same feeling afterward that I get when I've been on an investigation.
Yeah,
that makes sense. You get this kind of like charged buzzing. You kind of buzzing in a good way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I've had investigations like that when you come away and the adrenaline's pumping, and you're like amazing. I mean, me and my partner used to work for Truth Paranormal, and we went on the investigation at Kelvedon Hatch, not so secret nuclear bunker because it's signposted. And we come out of that investigation. We had some amazing stuff happen. We had a chair kicked in the Winston Churchill room. We saw 2 sort of dark shadows coming through a laser pen. We had a massive bang on the bridge that goes over the air purifiers that are at the bottom of the bunker. I mean, we come out of the investigation buzzing, and we even still talk about it now. Like we talk about going out and doing it, and that was probably like the peak. I just remember just coming out of there and thinking, like, feeling invincible, you know, because what had just happened, the evidence we just caught. So I completely get your feeling. But as a medium, have you ever sort of gone to an investigation and come away and been like, do you sort of, you have to have that sort of confidence? Have you ever like sort of come away and gone, I might have got that wrong?
Oh, 100%, because it's 100%. Because at the end of the day, you sort of got to trust yourself, but we are only human.
Yes.
and we are going to make mistakes, and we are going to get things wrong, and sometimes things are going to not quite appear as they are, and it's unfortunate, but it happens because it's not an exact science. It really isn't.
No, I like to sort of go under the pretense that it's not actually science at all. Science is something that's measurable by the five senses, something that can be sort of quantified by one of the senses or more than one of the senses. When you're talking about paranormal, you're looking at above those senses. You're looking at something that's above that. So it's definitely something where the way I look at things and the way that I see things is that we're dealing with something that's above science. But so have you ever sort of come out of an investigation and gone away, done a bit of research, and you were spot on? I bet you were buzzing when you done that.
Not yet. I've not been on loads of investigations yet. I'm sort of trialing at the minute. So I'll sort of go to a place. So last time I went to one, I investigated before I went, and then I felt a little bit funny about the situation because I felt like the feelings I was getting were they just because I'd already researched a place, or were they because I was actually picking up on it?
Yeah, no, so you had that sort of pareidolia, auto-suggestion sort of feeling.
Yeah, but then, so I'm sort of half and half at the minute with regards to doing it. I think the best course of action for the future for me will be going into somewhere, not having a clue about it, and then coming away and then looking and then seeing. I think that's probably the best way.
The way we used to run it is one of us in the team. We used to have a historian that worked for the team, but she worked. It was my auntie at the time, and she worked away from the team. And what we used to do is she would then pass that information to the specific person in the team who would hold that information, read it, and they would be it'd be like a skeptic on the team, somebody a non-believer, but they would hold that information. And as the medium was picking up, once they got to the end of their reading, they'd go, "Yep, you were spot on with this. You were spot on with this. You were spot on with this, but you was off with this." So it's sort of it's a controlled method of being able, because as much as when you say about going in blind and then researching afterwards, it still isn't. You still got that waiting time to find out whether you was right or not. So we sort of cut that the middleman out and sort of done it that way, where we had a controlled flow of information, but it was controlled to the people that weren't going to tell anybody else. So it takes out that element of auto-suggestion.
That's a good idea. I might have to suggest it to the group, to be fair, that one person sort of researches all the history, doesn't say anything, and then afterward, and then they can be like, "Yeah, you were spot on with that." Yeah. So I think that is a great way of doing it.
We sort of developed that sort of technique based on when we was doing our platforming for the SNC and sort of doing our spiritual nights, doing readings and that, because we was finding that as much as you're there to give the audience information, if you're not getting sort of recognition or feedback from the audience like in real time, your confidence goes bang, you hit rock bottom and you've got nowhere to go, and you're literally like panicking, you got the cold sweats, and it affects everything. So that's just something we used to do anyway, and anybody out there that's listening to this that wants to try that, I mean, it's a great way to sort of do things. It does really work.
I've noticed something as well, like just going out on investigations. It's like you sort of become very attached to the spirits, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Like you sort of, I can't quite grasp it, but they sort of latch onto you and you sort of latch onto them. And I get that mediums to spirits do emit the energy they need, don't they, or something like that. I can't.
Yeah, they're almost like zapping your energies. I mean, they call it the spiritual hangover, don't they? When the next day, when you literally have just lost all energy and no will to live, like it's horrible.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've had to work after, and it's just like I do an investigation, and I was at work at 6 a.m. the next day, and it's just like. You don't want to get up.
No, I know that feeling. I mean, when you talk about obviously spirits feeding and sort of you becoming attached to them, there's another really cool story with my partner as well. like I said, I believe she's mediumistical. She doesn't. But we used to go to this place in down the sort of in Essex, called Cash's Well, which is like an old well. It was owned by this millionaire guy that put TB down there, and loads of people died from it. And it's really, really haunted. Loads of satanic worship goes up there. But we went up there 3 times with the team, and every single time my partner went, she always got the same cackle on the radio. And it was always the same one, but only she could hear it through her radio. So it was almost like an attachment, but it never followed her home. It was like an attachment that sort of stayed there. It's really weird. It was really, really weird.
I went up to the woods not too long ago, and we actually found a little bit more than just spirits and entities there. There was definitely someone messing around up there.
Yeah.
With regards into satanic rituals or something like that, and there was I'm pretty sure that there was a demonic entity up there that was guarding the area.
Yeah.
And while we were doing our investigation, we were getting basically warned to leave.
Yeah. By
the spirits. We thought they just wanted us to go because of whatever reason, but then it's weird because I feel I'm trying to think of a way of putting it, but I felt drawn to a certain area where spirits were coming through.
Mm-hmm.
Am I all right to say portal on here?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I was drawn to a certain area, and it turned out there was a portal there.
Yeah.
Now, it wasn't, for starters, a naturally occurring one. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And the spirits were obviously telling us to leave, and in an attachment way, I'm pretty sure one of the little boys, or a spirit of a little boy that was down there, actually followed me home, to be fair.
Wow.
Because I felt like there was, when I was driving on the way back, I could feel like something behind me when I was driving home in the car. And then it's happening every now and again at the minute, but I feel like there's someone tugging on my leg.
Yeah. This is like a tension thing. Look at me, I'm here. Yeah, no,
yeah.
I've had that a fair few times.
In fact, I can't really feel it at the minute, but it's happened every now and again. I've woke up, I felt like someone's trying to tap me or touch me. I'm not sure what it is.
Well, lesson learned. Sometimes you have to sort of, you are going to take these things home, but I mean, as long as you're sort of doing your spiritual practices, you're doing your protection and things like that, you should be fine. But yeah, it's a warning for anybody out there that listens to us here on Patreon. Don't just think because you're doing things properly that things still can't follow you home. It's a dangerous business, the paranormal, and people don't realise that. You're dealing with, whether you believe it's ghosts, spirits, poltergeist, interdimensional beings, demons, angels. It's all something beyond our understanding. It's something that has to be respected. But even if you show that respect, it can come back to bite you in the arse. So that's the way I look at things anyway. So we've only got about 6 minutes left, so let's round this up. So, Chris, what's your take on the whole thing with mediums? Do you think that they're just getting a bit of bad press at the moment?
I feel it's like anything. It's like with regards to the paranormal sort of blowing up on social media and people going out there and doing things, meddling in things and like performing things that they shouldn't be because they've not been educated properly. And I think that's the biggest problem at the minute. Like, there are individuals like mediums or people pretending to be mediums that are giving the ones that are actually really trying, and the ones that are actually like I spoke about earlier, they're giving them a bad rep. They really are, and it is a massive shame.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think mediums in themselves, it's a gift, and as long as it's being used for the right purpose, it's definitely something that can only benefit the paranormal 100%.
Yeah,
definitely. So we're going to wrap up the show. I want to say thanks to you, Chris, for coming along. Don't forget, guys. Yeah, no, mate. Honestly, anytime, open door policy. Whenever you want to pop on, just let me know. Jump on.
I like Ben's idea, so I'll pop back. I'll pop back on whenever you want.
Yeah, we can do like a monthly update on our Saturday show where we sort of get where you're going and sort of what direction you're heading in with the paranormal. It'd be a great idea.
100%. And if you've got anybody that wants to ask me questions next time or something like that, just let them know.
Yeah, no, I definitely will do. I will do live Q&A. It sounds like a good idea. Sounds like definitely a good idea. So, guys, if you want to hear more from Christian, if you want to hear more from his team, don't forget to check out Mystics Paranormal. They're on both Facebook and TikTok. All you have to do is type it in the search bar. The guys doing amazing things. They had a conspiracy show the other night, which was hilarious. It was a really, really good show. And I think you've got a live coming up, haven't you?
We're live tonight. They were live around this time. Mm-hmm. And we were going to be going live tomorrow, but plans have changed because one of our team members is actually he's got a gig and he's got rehearsals and stuff. So we're not going to be back up and investigate until next week. No, I don't think Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay. So everyone out there that's listening in, look forward to that. Add them on Facebook, like their page, add them on TikTok, and follow them and get the updates. But once again, Chris, you've been an absolutely amazing guest, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
It's been great. Don't forget, guys, as well, if you do want to tell a friend, patreon.com/the other dimension. You already know this because you signed up, but tell a friend, pass it around, and let's get the paranormal trending. Hashtag. Yeah.
Hashtag abyssal chicken.
Yeah.
That's what you need to put.
Yes. Hashtag the abyssal chicken. But anyway, guys, we're out of here. Until next time, don't forget, it's inside the other dimension. So it's the other dimension, but just a little bit better. Take care, everyone. We're out of here. See you later.